Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pray. Lord, I thank you for the story told in that video, God. I thank you for the story of how you brought this ministry together, God. That you took people who didn't know each other in a small church, in a small community, Lord, and you brought them together as a team. God, that you have allowed this ministry to faithfully serve you for the last 3 years, God. I pray let us never take advantage of that. God, I thank you for everyone who is here tonight, that they can hear that word and they would see your story glorified in the performances tonight, Lord. That they would see how you have brought people together, how you have created this ministry. I thank you for the many blessings for the students and adults who are involved in this ministry and for our many very generous patrons. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, I thank you so much for being here tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeremiah Price, and I have the tremendous honor of coordinating this ministry. An honor that I could never deserve. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight to support community theater in a small town. I thank you for being able to keep programs like this alive with your generosity. And it's true when I say that the only reason that we are on our third season of theater in this community is because of the generosity of our patrons like you and the grace of the Lord. Now you've seen where we were just a little while ago. You saw the kids come out and perform from our 2016 spring musical, Malice in the Palace. Many of you were here joining us for our variety show last year, our first annual Dining Room Variety Hour, and you just saw a number from our 2017 musical, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So that's where we were, and you've seen the story of how we came together. Now let me tell you about where we are. It is amazing how the Lord brings people together. Last year, we held a variety show just like this one with 12 students, small students, putting on some fun musical numbers. We did the whole thing in the other room. We set up this little stage. Had a blast, had a good time, but we called it a night early. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. Tonight, the production you're watching had over 40 people involved. It was a wonderful time, and there are people from all over the community of all ages bringing you this experience tonight. But that is one of the amazing things about continuing to grow and learn with the Lord. You never know when He's going to change things around, when He's going to bring extra people, when He's going to say, JP, you have enough people to make a project happen. Lord, I don't have enough. What happened to all that overflowing my cup stuff, And you find that the Lord's blessings are always sufficient, more than sufficient. You heard some wonderful things said about me in that documentary. That was very kind. I knew they were coming. I approved the final cut. But very important and honest for me to tell you tonight that ministry is never about one person. Ministries are about people coming together with the mutual goal of glorifying the Lord in everything they do. I am taking a religion class right now at Western at Western Oregon, and my religion professor, he says, if you can get two people to come together in the same space and have them do something for the same purpose, that's amazing, right? If you get two people, to have so many people here at one time doing something for the same purpose, that is only something the Lord can bring together. And we know that the obstacles presented to us in the production process, they teach us to further trust the Lord. Tonight, as we were going through our dress rehearsal, and of course we're all nervous, biting our fingernails, we were having some problems with our monitors, with our electrical system. And people far smarter than I in the technical world were brought here by the Lord. The Lord made sure that we had the people we needed to get us out of that funk while you were all eating dinner, and we're able to present the show tonight. And that's the wonderful thing about trusting the Lord, is that just when you think that the path is lost, just when you think that your plans didn't work, that all the planning and all the time and all the time you spent making sure you had everything you needed, just when you think that all of that is failing you, that's where the grace of the Lord steps in. And the real privilege of coordinating this ministry is I get to see firsthand that grace step in time and time and time again. When I'm tired, when I'm finished, when I don't have any energy left, the grace of the Lord steps in, and it's more than adequate. If you know me, you know this wasn't my path. This wasn't what I was going to spend my life doing. I was going to be a podiatrist. I was going to operate on feet. That was my dream. That's what I wanted to do. My father's having a cow over there. That's what I wanted to do. With my life, I wanted to be a podiatrist. And I wanted to do that for one reason. I wanted to be very, very rich. So I had it all set up. I was going to go to school in San Francisco, but I wanted to graduate with honors to get a good scholarship. So I decided that in order to graduate from my high school, you had to have an art endorsement to graduate with honors. And so I was going to do the senior project. I had been doing theater for a little bit. I enjoyed it in high school. And I was going to teach children, because I had been teaching Bible study for a little while, and so I was going to teach children at this after-school program. Well, I went in thinking, I remember parking my car on the first day and thinking, oh, I'm going to get in here and get out. With teaching this little theater program after school. About 2 weeks in, I took a little hiatus. My family and I took a trip. And I remember missing the classroom. But I wasn't missing the theater. I wasn't missing the project. I was missing the students. And I remember having some time with the Lord and thinking, why is this a concern to me? Right? I'm just getting in here, doing the class, and getting out. And the Lord said to me, he said, JP, this calling you have to be with students in the classroom, helping students watch them succeed, is one that's not going to leave you for the rest of your life. So, had a good talk with my parents that night. And I now pursue elementary education. And while I'm in school, and as I continue, this is a ministry that the Lord has called me to do. To work with young students, now work with adults. And I'm very happy that He's called me to do this work that I love. So, as you're looking at this and you're saying, Malice in the Palace and Joseph, biblical stories, the story of Esther, the story of Joseph, you're probably thinking, and next, for your third act, you're going to do Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Where's that? Did they slip that into Ecclesiastes? Did they fly? Is the car in that one? The answer is no. So why Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Well, my team and I took serious research in the time after Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. We said next year we want to do something that really plays to our strength. Jamie, as you've seen tonight, is a brilliant choreographer. She owns the dance and fitness studio down just next to campus, and she knows how to create brilliant stage pictures. We have a fantastic vocalist, Reverend Dallas Dubkey, who can create these amazing, amazing vocal performances, and who this year will be assisting in our vocal production. And so as we were looking through these biblical musicals, we wanted to do something that would drive people forward, that would be really exciting. As we were looking at these other biblical musicals, shows were either laying on my desk that had significant biblical flaws. I couldn't present it in a church. The adaptation was too difficult. Or something that I simply couldn't picture my team spending an entire year on. But then I had the wise counsel of Pastor Mike, who told me again that, JP, the Lord will continue to bless this ministry as long as you follow Him. So we set about finding a show that we could do that displayed strong biblical values, something that would be fun For our children who are going to be in it, the children and adults who are going to be in it, it was relevant and exciting enough for them. But then for our audiences would be nostalgic, something that they've experienced from their childhood, like a Bible story. So we stumbled on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. We realized that this show has incredible, important family values. I'll tell you something about it. It was released in 1968, the same year as fantastic children's movies like Oliver, Yours, Mine, and Ours, and Finnegan's Rainbow. It tells the story of Caractacus Potts. He's an inventor. Crackpot, you get it. Anyway, and he's caring for his two children after his wife's death. The children love this old junkyard car, but it's going to be impounded. And so Potts gets the money any way he can to buy this car. After meeting this lovely young woman, truly scrumptious, adequately named, really scrumptious, they set about on an adventure in their fantastic flying car. That's right. And in the end, does something fly? Yes, Pastor Mike, it will. They go on an adventure to save Grandpa from the evil Baron and Baroness bomb burst. And in this land, Bulgaria, no children are allowed. So all the children are hiding underground. Have you heard this story before? We look to the book of Elijah. Maybe you've heard this story before. When Elijah was called by God to the palace of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel. And they despised God's people. And so while the king and queen thought that all of God's people were being put to death, they were too being hid in an underground place. We see in both Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and the story of Elijah that God calls people to lead, but he can take leadership from those with wicked intentions. And that Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, this very ordinary story, other than the flying car, this very ordinary story of regular people, non-biblical people, we can use the ordinary to inform the extraordinary. That is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a story of good versus evil, a story of good family values and childhood purity, and those who seek to corrupt it. In short, a story of biblical values can be used to complete the mission statement of this ministry, to provide performers in our community an opportunity to express godly faith through the dramatic arts, using productions depicting biblical values. So why Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Because the story fulfills our values. It's fun, it's exciting, and if you come back in April, which I hope you all do, it's going to be one heck of a show. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have decided tonight that you would like to be involved in this ministry, if you would like to be involved in the events, or you would like to support those events, please know that this is not a small program just getting by, right? Donating to this ministry, being involved in this ministry, is donating to a ministry that is thriving under the leadership of the Lord and those who follow him. This is a free program welcoming children's, teens, and adults of all ages. In fact, in Joseph, the production you saw, our youngest was 7 years old and our oldest was 73. This is a family ministry with arms open wide. If you or anyone you know would like to be involved in this ministry, please know that it's a ministry about working together and glorifying God. Matthew 5:16 says, in the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. An AIM production, when you come to see an AIM production, that's not about our story. That's not about the ways we have worked or the hard work that we have put in. It's about the Lord's work, the Lord's story. So I invite you to be a part. We have our musical theater audition workshop going on December 3rd right here in this room, 2:30 to 5 o'clock. We like to have people come early, work with our choreographer, work with our vocal director, so we can kind of get an idea of who may be at auditions. And then we'll have auditions auditions for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. In the middle of January, we will begin a work that the Lord will bring to fruition in April. And we couldn't be more excited for the amazing things that He has planned in the ministry over the next several months. And indeed in all of our lives.